Hi, I'm Peter Foy, Chairman of Americans for Prosperity of California. AFP is committed to bringing common sense solutions to government. Here are 12 examples of how common sense was missing in California in 2009. Number 12, the California Energy Commission bans big screen TVs. If one of California's NFL teams made it to the Super Bowl, their hometown wouldn't be watching the game on the big screen. That's because the California Energy Commission decided to impose new energy regulations that will essentially ban 25% of televisions currently on the market, and mostly those of over 40 inches. Enjoy the $18 you'll save in energy usage as you watch your 36-inch television set. Number 11. The California Air Resources Board mandates tinting of all car windows. The California Air Resources Board approved a Cool Cars regulation that will require car windows to have an advanced glazing in order to block the sun heat, supposedly reducing the need for air conditioning. The only problem is the glazing can interfere with GPSs, garage door openers, cell phones, satellite radios. And did I mention that window glazing could interfere with the ankle tracking bracelets for convicted criminals? Number 10. The legislature passes a water bond bloated with pork. Given the opportunity to finally address California's water crisis, the legislature instead passed an $11 billion bond measure loaded with pork projects. As much as half of the bond contains non-water related projects. Number 9. The legislature establishes the Blueberry Commission. With the state facing a $20 billion plus deficit, the legislature spent its time and taxpayer money on debating issues like whether to establish a Blueberry Commission. This is just one of the 3,000 bills introduced in the legislature every year, most of them a complete waste of time and money. Number 8. The Governor's Tax Commission report promotes hidden tax. In an effort to stabilize tax revenues, Governor Schwarzenegger and the legislature established the Commission on the 21st Century Economy. While the Commission did offer some good recommendations, such as scrapping business taxes, it also recommended a value-added tax. This complex tax levy will hide the actual cost of taxes from taxpayers. And instead of just taxing goods, now service industries like lawyers and even tax preparers will also be taxed. Number 7. Federal judges order the release of a quarter of California's prison population. A panel of 3 federal judges ruled that California must release 44,000 criminals from state prisons. That's a quarter of the entire prison population. This is another example of federal intervention in our state and of the government not fulfilling its basic responsibility to its citizens, keeping our streets safe from criminals. Number 6. Senator Boxer's cap and tax legislation. California's junior senator, Barbara, don't call me ma'am, Boxer, carried the banner of radical environmentalism by introducing one of the most dangerous pieces of legislation being pushed in Washington, D.C. Cap and trade would impose extreme environmental regulation on businesses and the average citizen. Would the cap and trade legislation destroy jobs? Yes, ma'am. Number 5. California increases the sales tax. No, it wasn't an April Fool's joke. On April 1st, the sales tax increased 1%. This tax increase is scheduled to sunset in 2011. But since raising taxes in Sacramento is a specialty, don't count on a decrease in the sales tax. Number 4. California's Congressional Delegation, 2,400 earmarks. California's Congressional Delegation was one of the greediest, with over 2,400 earmarks requested. Number 3. California withholding 10% more from your paycheck. If the government takes money from your paycheck but doesn't call it a tax, is it still a tax? In November, the state began withholding an additional 10% from taxpayers' paychecks in a gimmick to help cover the state debt. The interest-free loan to Sacramento is supposed to be recovered through tax refunds in 2010. What are the odds that the refunds will be in the form of an IOU? Number 2, the May special election. Why not shift blame to taxpayers for Sacramento's overspending by letting them decide whether to raise their own taxes? On May 19th, California voters said no to higher taxes by voting down Proposition 1A. 1A would have extended the sales tax increase, extended the doubling of the car tax, extended the income tax increases, and reduced child tax credits. And number 1, California issues IOUs. In July, with the state running out of money to pay its bills, California began issuing IOUs to its creditors. Not since the Great Depression has the Golden State had to take such drastic measures. Even more humiliating, some banks threatened to refuse honoring these IOUs. These were examples of how common sense was missing in Sacramento in 2009. In 2010, you can count on AFP to fight to bring common sense back to Sacramento.